Feel ko kaya gininamon niya ang Naga, ang former mid sang AEX kasi calculated, okay man siya, pero mas better ang AEX subong ngayon.
Magandang gabi sa mga summoners. Ako pa si Vulcan, kasama ko si Arteg. Ito ang 2018 Bacchus Pro Gaming Series Spring Split.
Yes, there you go. Man, oh man. Time and time again, itong mga matches na nangyari nitong week 2, parang ito yung predictions ko. Out the window. I'm absolutely baffled right now. Pero in all fairness naman sa AEX, whatever happened during week 1 between them and IPT, going that 0-2 kind of lit that fire under their bums and just really helped them.
Bums?
Yeah, like
is that the right? So for okay, yeah. Breathe. And for AEX, a sum of the game 1 there, summary of the game 1. Gotta hand it to AEX for stepping up their game when it comes to Naga Esports, but I gotta hand it to Awaken on the zero, and not to mention AEX in the know with the current meta. Here are the standings so far: 1-0, match point of the best of 3 series.
Man, and I'm wondering how this is gonna go, because in all fairness to Naga Esports, they were able to at least make it to that late game. It's just that they lost so many structures that it just made it so much trickier to make that comeback. I feel like probably if they were able to at least maintain a decent amount of control over their base within those last few minutes, then that potentially would have made the difference. But overall, that being said, I'm expecting that game 2, it could potentially still go either way. I wouldn't discount Naga Esports just yet.
And when it comes to preparation, as Chisto did say in game 1, when it comes to preparation, drafting, and all about preparing for your game, Naga Esports has that. But execution was questionable. We did see that in game 1. Execution is key. You may prepare for everything, but adaptiveness is important.
Indeed. And I'm wondering, still, it's just crazy because Naga Esports, I was really expecting a 2-0 to be honest, but because I had my doubts with AEX. They changed out their roster. They lost Mirmo, they lost Vanguard, and they went for an all Ilonggo roster this split. So you kind of go back to thinking, will it prove to be effective going into the PGS? Because by sticking to an all Ilonggo roster, sure, there's definitely that Iloilo pride, but it's also limiting by just going for players that are naturally within your vicinity. Pero I think napag-usapan nyo nga rin kanina na ang positive naman doon is na-resolve yung problema ng AEX na magkakasama sila.
Because I felt like when AEX was playing in the last year split, Mermo and Varga playing alone in the game itself, it's not saying that it's bad. It's like when you're playing in the same room with your team, 5 members working together, it's a very different experience, very different synergy. And when you lose the game, you need to rely on your teammates to comfort you and bring you back up. Yeah, stand up and resume your journey into the PGS. And for AEX, having home ground advantage, I would say, regards to the player, I think they have the comfort of playing beside their fellow teammates.
Interesting that we bring that up because that's the flip side for AEX. For Naga, it's trickier because Calculated, of course, isn't with them here in Metro Manila. So there's that one complication wherein they don't have they're not in the same room with Calculated whenever they play their games. In all fairness to them, though, definitely didn't see any signs of that being a detriment
without
in
a
week
doubt,
1.
man.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Zoe of Calculated. Did you see how Calculated was relentless in pursuing AEX? One by one, he was just cutting his ex-teammates down, and he's pretty much a beast on the Zoe. But let's see how Naga Esports will adapt and change into this game 2. Perhaps they may ban out for the Azir or the Nuno for as a respect. We'll see in their drafting.
Pero like at the end of the day, because I was thinking about what it would have meant if Naga went 2-0 today. Because if they did, they'd actually be at top 1 right now.
Yeah, actually, because Naga Esports, we did open up the game as, hey, they're actually the only team who has 2-0 clean record.
Yeah.
And AEX denies it. They just made Naga lose their first game. And for AEX, getting their first victory, what a treat that is. And if AEX continues this momentum, they will not just get, let's say, 1 point, they will get 3 points. Note that in the point system for our new format in the 2018 Bacchus Pro Gaming Series, it's going to be 2-0 will grant you 3 points. 2-1 will only grant you 2 points, whereas the team who only won one game will get an equal 1 point.
But
So at this point, just take everything you want. Take all the
Exactly.
points. You don't want to be in the let's say bottom in the seedings. You want to be waiting into the next stage, the playoff stage. No, because the format is completely different. And if you guys are not familiar with the format changes, check out our Facebook page, Garena Pro Gaming Series PH, or our website, esports.garena.ph.
And of course, syempre, during breaks kasi, it's so nice to see that all our summoners that are watching the stream, there's always that conversation going on. So shout out sa lahat ng mga...
Yeah, I think you're very active in that YouTube chat. And
I love my boys on YouTube.
What did they say to you?
They trashed. They joke lang.
They trashed you.
They joke lang. No, everybody's pretty nice. I like how everybody gives their input. And nakikita mo talaga yung support ng binibigay ng mga players natin dito sa Pilipinas through chat. Yung hashtag AEX win, hashtag NE win. Diba, kahapon sinasabi ko, wow, malaki ng fanbase ni Lando. Dito, ngayong day na to, napatunayan natin na this right here, Rebenga. Daming fans ni Rebi.
So shout out to the people who are watching in our YouTube channel live. So, as Arctic said, very active. I love how the community is actually embracing the competitiveness of our teams, but also let us support our favorite teams. And shout out to the people who are watching in our Facebook Live too. This is going to be second game. Drafting phase is on the work.
Man, let's go ahead and see what's being thrown out here. A little bit of diversity. I like how Naga Esports gonna make the proactive move to make sure that they take away that Nunu. They do not want, under any circumstances, want AEX to abuse that any longer.
So they will be... Wow, okay. Smart of AEX. In the end, they will be taking away the Sejuani of Revenga, but for Naga Esports, they want to get that severe. They want that extra pressure.
Medyo may Tokyo Drift na magaganap dito with that severe being locked in. And the Rek'Sai, wow, gonna be locked in for Revenga.
Proactive jungler finally in the hands of Revenga. Revenga, as Chisto and I did establish, it's our opinion that Revenga could be the brains of Naga, could be the ones that can change, intervene, help the lanes work. And Revenga was on that Shyvana. What happened there? The lanes did not perform up to par, did not perform.
Wow, but speaking of perform, I'm wondering, Gen V locking in this Kog'Maw.
Taking away an ADC from Naga Esports, now onto the second phase.
Whew. This is quite the interesting draft that
Azir
we're having
banned
here thus far. Yep. There you go. Azir gonna be banned out from Awaken. Napapaisip tuloy ako, ano kayang pwedeng dalhin ni Awaken going into the second rotation. Here, Maokai gonna be prioritized right there for Iconic. We'll be bringing that. Did play Iconic. He did play Iconic. He did play Maokai to much success during week 1. Looks like the Gnar, though, gonna be dished out in counter to that by Cannon.
Let's see. This will be the last pick for AEX. The one pick that can melt everything together and mix it up. It's going to be a mid lane Corki, one of the mid laners that I think, in my opinion, is one of the safest mid laners. Very adaptable, has both magic and AD.
Oh.
Can cover all grounds, but for Calculated, this is going to be a mid lane Zillion. Unorthodox picks delivered to Calculated.
Exactly, and it's interesting because this was one of the signatures na meron yung Acclaim Empire X before, even back when they did have Calculated. So, but then again, this Zillion in this particular composition, I kinda like it. So,
Game face on for Awaken here in the face cam. Game face all on for players. AEX versus Naga Esports. Game 2 of our last match for the second day, week 2. Let's look at our final summary. Yes, this is the roundup, the wrap-up. And I'm pretty excited to see can Naga Esports this time with a more impressive draft, because I have to say their draft in the first game was not that impressed. It was not the style that I saw Naga Esports play in the first week, where Rebenga is placed on this proactive jungler, finally on a Rex side.
Exactly, and I love the compositions coming in from both sides. For AEX, I think it's very clear. Hands off Awaken, hands off Gen V. And yan ang gagawin ni Cannon, ni Tamsu, tsaka ni Kurosu. Meanwhile, for Naga Esports, I like the balance in their composition. They have both fantastic engage and disengage, depending on how they want to play out their team fights. So, it can go either way for both sides here, but I have to agree with you. I'm looking forward to seeing Rebenga on this Rek'Sai.
And I'm really looking forward to see how AEX on the top lane, Cannon on this Gnar, Is this going to be a counter pick? Yes, it is, because Nar does favor a lot in melee matchups, but Makoy has the gap closer, so this is going to be more of a challenge. And now Rebenga being on a more proactive jungler, a Rek'Sai. We'll see how can Naga Esports take away 1 point from AEX, the champions of the 2016 Summer Split. They have something to prove and to show us that they are one of the contenders in the spot, moving on to the playoff stage.
And looks like we'll find out in just a bit as we head on to the Rift for Game 2.
Yeah. Thanks,
And there you have it, folks. We'll be finding out. Will AEX finally prove that they are still a contender in the PGS by going 2-0, or will Naga Esports, one of the more superior teams in terms of macro and knowledge of the game, just take it equal 1-1?
So on to the Rift here. Looks like AEX drifting around the Rift, spinning to, let's say, maybe a surprise here. Oh, hello. Words are placed, and now we see Calculated in the brush.
Ooh, AEX.
They'll just back away.
A little bit of a party together, but indeed, we'll back away. So, yeah, a little bit of a tricky move that AEX wanted to pull off there, but Naga Esports had that preemptive move to make sure that they have all entrances covered, spotted them out, and looks like everything will disperse for now.
Things are settling down. We are seeing the same rotations we saw in Game 1, where, I gotta say, just guarding the entrances is safe enough, and this time Rebenga on a Rek'Sai. I have high expectations. I want to see Rebenga, the same Rebenga I saw in Week 1.
Look at how much lockdown Naga Esports has. I mean, the last thing you want is that speed boost from Zillion, that speed boost from Sivir, and I don't want a Mad Cow. I don't want that Void creature, that Rek'Sai, or Maokai coming at you with all that CC lockdown. And
so this time they have a reliable engage, I would say.
Yeah, and aside from that, like I said, disengage as well in a way. If ever AEX makes a preemptive move to be proactive, tries to engage on Naga Esports, could easily just back away with speed boost and the same tools, which could be used for engage as well. So that's what I like about Naga Esports' composition, that flexibility right there.
And flexibility for AEX when it comes to Corki's mixed damage, yes, it's there. But for the Zillion, yes, it will give more control, more. It's like you're fighting a fight where you have to time everything. And if you see a Zillion ult, don't take that of champion just yet, but by that time, that ult itself offers a lot of pressure.
And speaking of pressure, the thing that further kind of boosts Naga Esports' lineup here is that Rebenga, he's kind of like a shark in the jungle right now. The Maokai, the Zillion, the Alistar, all of these champions, whenever Rebenga goes for a gank, can pretty much set up a potential kill because of how they have a potential lockdown. I mean, Maokai does have that root. Zillion has the stunts landing those 2 bombs. Alistar, just the classic combo right there, can spell death for AEX if they overextend the boundaries too much in lane. So, in exchange, of course, AEX, they have to restrain themselves a bit, just allow Awaken and Genvi to reach their optimal spikes, and that's where they can really just go in.
And here comes Rebenga, already intervening this early. Looks like Awaken does not have any vision. He does have flash, so this could just be for Rebenga to just burn the summoners here, but already Cannon trying to zone out Iconic.
Grabe yung 6th sense ni Awaken din. Like,
6th sense, yeah.
As soon as Rebenga was in the vicinity, gaya ng na-mention mo, walang vision, but like he knew something was up as soon as Calculated started walking a little bit towards.
Difference between a pro and an amateur, I would say.
Exactly. That's why I can never go pro.
Well, don't let your dreams stop there, Arthur.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Just do it.
Just do it. Or let it be dreams, because sometimes things are better when you just imagine it.
Okay.
Like when it becomes real, it's the ugly reality.
Yeah.
But for these players, they made their dreams come true and making the most out of it, showing us, the viewers, that they, in this highly competitive format of the League of Legends in the Philippines, the PGS, one spot for GPL, anyone wants to represent us in the international scene.
And there you have it. Looking here towards this top side, I guess it's very straightforward here, melee versus range. So Iconic just gonna resolve himself to just farming whatever creeps come towards him, because Cannon
Padala.
just gonna...
That's what she still said. Padala. Pera padala.
LBC Pera Padala? Okay.
That's actually a strategy that you can use when it comes to a matchup against a Nar. And Maokai, I think he does have the wave clear for that. And has to sustain thanks to the passive.
That's true. And that's the plus here for Iconic. I mean, even with Cannon just throwing projectiles through auto attacks, and even in Mega Nar, just that Q if I'm not mistaken. So, but still.
The boulder.
Exactly.
And now I think Cannon is actually setting something up for Naga because he's very much overextended in the lane. No wards on his part. Mid lane is somehow still a bit black, but now where is Rebecca going to head to? He is in the top side in the Crocs. We can see that in the mini-map.
Oh man, Jaws is in effect. Rebenga definitely has that window of opportunity if he does decide to go for it. Just clearing out that camp first. I wonder if he will indeed try to go for a transition to gank that Nard, but you also have to take note. Naglinger in si Tamsu dito sa upper side, so it could go either way. Looks like Iconic will be making a retreat instead. He is very low on mana, so just gonna make his way back to base, regenerate, and potentially TP back.
Relax.
Yes.
Things are still good for both teams. You can still come back in this game too. For Naga Esports, prepared really well for this matchup. They have plans, they have strategies, they need to execute this. And Rebenga, in my opinion, would be that bridge. This is the brains in the team.
And meanwhile, here towards the bot side, Genvi and Kurosu. That will be a bit of a dive in there. Here comes Rebenga as well. AEX, will they manage to back away though? Here comes Rebenga, Genvi. He is forced to flash away. Both summoners are down for him. Looks like they're trying to go for Kurosu, but not enough. AEX's bot lane lives to tell the tale.
Look at the restraint from Kurosu, hanging on to that flash, and also for Rebenga. Intervening to the bot lane just in time, and for Genvi to survive that gang. Immediately seeing that Cannon can go all out in the top lane. He knows Rebecca cannot intervene. Immediately goes on to Iconic. Chunks him down to half health, but being a Maokai, he can just sustain himself thanks to that passive.
Yeah, and Iconic's just gonna regenerate all of that. Cannon, I'm wondering, looks like he is gonna linger for a bit to farm, but he might want to be careful. He is lower than half health. No pots to chug whatsoever. So
you don't want to become, let's say, too dependent on pots, because at this point, when it comes to sustaining your lane, Cannon has the lifesteal, and he doesn't need it. And for Maokai, he also has the passive. So this could be pretty much a back and forth laning phase, where it's a matter of time where the level 6 spikes, yes, it's right now, can help shape things out and possibly can set up a gank in the top lane thanks to the root of the Maokai.
Indeed, Mega Nar going to be popped up here for Cannon. They're just very chill, what we're seeing here across the board.
Chill.
With the exception of that gank towards bot, of course. But all in all, just attempts that haven't really led to anything fruitful as far as First Bloods. I like the fact, though, that Iconic, upon his first back, did go for that Glacial Shroud to at least deal with some of the damage being dished out by Cannon here.
I think he was going for the right choice of Glory, because when you're going for, let's say, to really fight against Anar, you would probably pick up a Tabby or a Bramble, but it's not that effective, yes. But if Iconic wants to go for a more team fight-oriented build, yes, the Glacial Shroud Rush, it works both ways. It gets him mana, gets him armor, and builds him quicker towards that Righteous Glory.
And meanwhile, towards the spot side, Luxury and Neep continuing to get the push out here onto Genvi and to Kurosu. So, but look at the CS difference though. Kog'Maw leading up a bit by around 10. Wondering if this will continue to build. I'm not quite sure, but looks like it's gonna take a steady turn for the meantime.
And here are the keystones. Surprise to me that I'm seeing Tamzu running the footwork on a Sejuani, and same goes for Cannon.
A lot of footwork for AEX, actually.
A lot of speed boost. What is this? Footwork for AEX? Interesting.
Yeah, and I thought NE was Tokyo.
Well, actually, it does work for the Sejuani. I have to agree with the Sejuani one. But for the Nar, yes, offers more kite and more sustain.
Yeah, and I think overall, it's definitely a good matchup to whatever speed boost that Naga Esports has.
True,
Not really a good matchup, but at least it's a good balance in a way.
That's very true. And we're reaching our 7 minute. Sorry, it was actually the 9-minute mark closing in for this game. AEX still. No team securing the first spot. Rebenga's gonna change everything. Here comes the dive, and Pulverize will be there for the knockup. Fisher is just too much for Rebenga. He backs out under the turret though. First blood and top lane. party in the top lane. Iconic trying to fend for himself. Meganar towards the other side. Cannon throws the rock to the face. And that's going to be 2-0 by AEX.
AEX, great start here for them in this match, and we'll just have to see if this will continue to pick up for him. Not bad at all. Look at this turret, though, towards the top side. Already less than half itself. I'm
First
wondering,
blood?
is
Wow.
AEX going to potentially go for it?
This is something. Wow, if they get this first turret of the game, I mean, not even in the 10-minute mark.
Oh, okay.
Oh, close cooldown, sir. Close cooldown. Teleport is
Had to pass him.
available. No, it's still on cooldown. Short by seconds. Cannon. Wow. Before 10 minutes, we will be having our first turret of the game in the top lane.
Oh man, that's going to give AEX a little bit more maneuverability across this map with that early takedown on that turret. Only 10 minutes into this game. Wow, I'm pleasantly surprised.
And for itemization-wise, still Iconic staying strict in his path, going for the Righteous Glory rush. And that's why he couldn't rush the Tabby. He was running the footwork. He can't buy boots there, but he needed an extra boost. But for Cannon, he is finishing up his, finished his Black Cleaver. And the next Drake right now, the Drake right now is the Mountain Drake. And I wonder, can AEX go for more objective rotations? Maybe the bot side, who knows?
Let's go ahead
Still
and
anyone's
see,
game.
though. But Cannon, without a doubt, definitely going to have a little bit of a better time here in the
Cleaver.
top lane.
That's gonna hurt.
Ooh.
He has to back off. I don't think Cannon's gonna let it happen. Okay. This is painful to watch, but let's see. Iconic, will he survive? Oh, wait. Cancels the teleport.
Wait a minute. What happened
Just
there?
happened there.
Okay, Cannon taking him down. I was a little bit baffled by the teleport suddenly.
Looks like Iconic knew that he would die. Wanted to refund the cooldown. Smart choice on his part. But for Cannon, he will be getting a free kill in the top lane.
That's a bit tricky there. That early Black Cleaver from Cannon
Shreds
easily
the
allows...
armor.
Exactly.
Now-
Just shreds through the Ninja Tabi and the Glacial Shroud.
Yeah. At this time, yeah, Iconic got the Tabby, but it's a bit too late. You need that for the staying in the laning phase against Anar. But when Anar gets a Black Cleaver, the Phage passive, the speed boost, and the boots that he has, yes, and the Shred, all in one combo. That is a tank Shred.
Exactly.
Plus the slow from the Q.
I'm wondering how this is going to pan out for Cannon, though. Yeah, particularly for Iconic, actually, because... But then again, he is a Maokai. This doesn't necessarily
Flashback.
set them down too much.
Pulverize, denies, some engage. Max range Glacier Frazier for the knockup. Rebecca is here. Can they commit? The heal is there. They're just chasing down the members of Naga Esports. Now we see Tamsu sweeping the lens, trying to get away, trying to deny some vision. Glacier Frazier, great timing by Luxuria to deny that person with the spell shield.
But in the midst of that, AEX starting to exert pressure.
Rebecca
here.
re-engaging. Looks like Jambi very low on health. They will be backing off from the turret. Stun will channel through. Praise Seeker is now onto Genvi. Will be AEX backing away. Does not want Rebecca to re-engage onto the Kog'Maw.
Great foresight by Rebecca to make sure to stay in the lane to dispel any aggression coming in from AEX towards that bot lane. And mission accomplished. Force them to go back. No turrets taken just yet for
And
them.
again in the top lane, aggressive take by Cannon, trying to pressure Iconic in his lane. But for Cannon, he could bite off more than he can chew. He has to back off.
Man, Iconic, he's going to have a tricky time in that top lane there. And I don't know, man. With all said and done, like I mentioned, though, the positive here is that Iconic, I think he can afford to fall behind a bit because going into the later parts of the game, it's going to be more of an enabler as far as these engages and disengages. Of course, the tricky part will be he wouldn't be as beefy as you would have wanted him to because of him just falling a little bit behind in the itemization, and plus the fact that we have seen Cannon just being able to shred through all that armor.
I have to disagree with you on that when it comes to falling a bit too little behind. I think it's huge. You saw in the Gold League how 2,300 gold onto Cannon. Look at the CS. It's right there, set in stone. Iconic is having a hard time itemizing, still sticking towards that Righteous Glory. But now we see, look at Cannon picking up the threads. Interesting. That's going to be a Vamp Scepter. Who knows what he's going to go from that. Rebenga trying to back up, but Awaken will not let him have his escape. Great snipe by Awaken. This will enable AEX to go for the Mountain Drake, knowing that the jungler is gone. Top lane side, red side of Naga Esports. Teleport is channeling through. Cannon, yellow bar, Meganar farm in soon. Here comes the Meganar. Cannon has the ultimate ready. This could be a dive, but no, will not commit. Sees calculated, flashes in, misses that stun, wastes his flash.
And man, oh man, still plays across the board happening here. Looks like Tamsu gonna get spotted out by Neep and Luxuria, just gonna restrain themselves just a bit. AEX is on the siege for this bot lane turret. Let's go ahead and see. Will they succeed?
Side looks like Tamsu trying his best to zone members out. Naga Esports defending the outer bot lane turret. They will succeed for now, but I don't think AEX will back off. They will keep pushing through, but Rebecca from the base on the hunt. Great two-man knockout, but gets denied by the Fisher, but Rebecca will execute Chanbi. Iconic is there from the top lane. It's going to be a double kill for Rebecca. Great play from Naga Esports. Teleport being used by Luxuria. Transitions to the top lane.
Very well played there by Naga Esports in terms of the defense and the counter engage at the same time. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's the value that Iconic brings, despite him falling behind in the lane, not having the best time within the first 10 minutes of the game. Can easily make that comeback by his kit going into these smaller skirmishes to even bigger team fights.
So with that said, that's going to be third score 2-1. Gold lead in favor of AEX. That's going to be a 4K gold lead. Now this is still Naga Esports in the game. They have a severe. They can stall this game, but let's have a replay. For me, AEX were too ambitious in this bot lane.
I'd have to agree with you right there. They have to respect the composition that Naga Esports has. Look at how Genvi easily gets obliterated, just focus fired by the members of Naga Esports, and it was just a huge crumble from there for AEX.
Overcommitment. Kurosu tried to deny or fight that disengage. Luxuria has a spell shield, but Cannon knows that timing. Here comes Neeb for the assistant stun. There it is. One more hit for the stun. Does connect. Cannon will be in Mininar farm. He will have to kite. And Rebecca is here. 3 members in the top side controlling Cannon. Now here comes Naga Esports. Rebecca going into the top lane. This is an E fighting back, but this will be AEX answering that gag into the bot lane outer turret.
But meanwhile, Iconic gonna get pursued by both Tamsu
Lane
and
swap
Awaken.
happening here. Calculated is in the scene. Awaken. Stun will connect to Tamsu. They're committing. Tamsu's very low. Okay, goes over that wall, but it's going to be flash burn by Iconic, but will be calculated, securing that kill. Meanwhile, Neep, very low on health, will survive thanks to the unbreakable will.
Man, a few misplays here and there by AEX. Doesn't necessarily determine
Righteous
the
Glory
overall
proc,
goal,
it's going to be
no.
Iconic playing the skirmishes here. Under the turret, Stasis has been proc. Kurosu stands behind his ADC, but still will be forced to give a kill to Iconic.
Man, AEX, I'm not sure what's happening here. Making a few mistakes here and there that's slowly allowing Naga Esports to climb back. In all fairness, there's still a bit of a difference in terms of gold, but if AEX continues to make these mistakes, then it's just going to allow easier access for Naga Esports to get back on equal terrain with them.
And so far for Cannon, he did die once. Okay, so he's building towards the Blade of the Ruined King for more kite, more sustain, and to really shred and push the lanes even harder, especially if we're seeing a swap again by Naga Esports. Iconic was in a bot lane. Now we're seeing him in the mid lane. Looks like AEX are trying to play a bit more proactive, going for a more grouping up in this sense.
In all fairness to AEX though, as far as the key players that need to be ahead, they haven't really fallen behind quite yet. It's still a little bit okay though.
There's vision by Naga Esports thanks to the shrine.
Looks like Naga Esports try to contest it though. I do see a lot of AEX covering any access point that Naga Esports could go for.
They will give it away.
Indeed.
This could cost them 2 turrets if they're not careful.
Yes, let's go ahead and see. Will AEX makukuha ba nila yung maximum value of getting that Rift Herald?
I think they can, because once they mold down mid, all that Naga Esports can do is just to zone them out, clear the waves. Yeah, like that with the Severe, but they will be hanging on to that Rift Herald, may use it. Who has the Rift Herald? It is Cannon. So he may push all the way in the top lane. So now, if ever NE tries to go for a more grouped up fight, more centered around the bot lane or the mid lane, Canon can simply punish them by summoning the Herald and destroy the remaining turrets in the top lane, especially
Exactly.
the inhibitor turret.
I gotta say though, I mean, we've talked about AEX. Looking at Naga Esports, I guess the same can be said for them. Most of the deaths that they've concurred are mostly on iconic Rebenga and that one kill onto Neep. So as far as Calculated and Luxuria, they're still pretty much in the game here. In fact, Luxuria a little bit more in a healthier position for assists. Sure, not a single kill to his name, but it's definitely a step up.
See here, Luxuria now pressuring the mid lane. They have the Civ here, so great wave clear coming from Luxuria. That's going to be Kurosu still trying to stay strong in the lane. This is still anyone's game here, but for AEX, they did get a good lead in the start, still maintaining a 7k gold lead.
Yeah, and if you're gonna try to pinpoint where that massive lead comes from, there's a lot of factors here actually. The number of turrets, the
CS.
dragon taken, CS across the board for everybody. Everybody topples over Naga Esports in that department as well. So that's why we're seeing that much of a massive lead. Even though technically kills, it's a little bit deceiving, 5 and 6. But the rest pretty much speaks for itself.
Blade of the Ruined King completed by Cannon. He is pressuring the bot lane. Note that he has the Rift Herald. And for AEX, they're going for the pressure game because they know this is the Naga Esports they saw in week 1. This is their playstyle, I think, in their sweep against Sparsy X-Rage Esports, going for more macro. And I'm gonna hand it to AEX. They're responding it quite well. Here comes the Rift Herald being spawned in the bot lane.
Oh man, Rift Herald, let's go ahead and see. That's actually a pretty good distraction as well. Looks like... Oh, there you go, that's why.
That's why. Cannon has teleport. Let's see. Vision is granted by Naga Esports. Will they get this on the hunt? Baron, who will it get to? Will this be a steal? No. AEX baits in Naga Esports. Double kill for Genvi. Now Luxuria and Iconic left alone. That's going to be a wicked. Ignoring the Maokai, going straight for the high priority target. Awaken gets killed. Iconic is the only one remaining. Now 3 members down for the count. Calculated has the ultimate. Tamzo very low. The bomb will shred Tamzo, forcing him to back off. Buying more time. Looks like Rose picks up the bomb. He's close to death, but they will be weaving in and out of that fight. Heal will help them survive, and no members dies. It's going to be a clean 4 to nothing.
Wow, amazing play there by AEX. Able to distract Naga Esports with that Rift Herald pull, transitioning straight into the Baron. And with that fortitude, immediately, as soon as Naga Esports tried to contest, they turned things around, and not a single casualty to AEX's name in that team fight. Let's go ahead and check out what transpired.
Break it down.
So, as you can see, AEX, he's kind of baited out this Aaron here, but even though it's quite low here, immediately turned around to take down Naga Esports. They knew that without Calculated here, and they're kind of lacking in the damage department, and that was just pretty much clean there for AEX from there on out. Cannon not even needed in this fight.
Whew. That speaks a lot because when it comes to Cannon being the split pushing player for the AEX, that's a silly way to say it. For the NAR, having the Blade of the Ruined King and the Black Cleaver, enough distractions grants them that pressure. Calculated wasn't in that fight, and now again they're going for the Baron. Yes, finally. Will AEX take away the Baron?
Rebenga though, he is
In the
poised to
scene,
eventually go for it.
around. They're so close. Steal. Well, okay, steal won't happen. It's not anymore. 50-50 Baron. It's going to go to AEX. Without a hitch, Rebenga a bit too early entering the Baron pit. What a shame.
Oh.
And for Cannon, solo kill in the bot lane.
This is so tricky for Naga Esports at this point. And I think dito na lumalabas yung long-term value ng lead ni Cannon. Just able to split like there's no tomorrow, not giving a care in the
Doesn't
world
care
about his teammates.
I'm gonna die. Hashtag worth. Oh, will he not though? He will survive for now. Bomb is ticking. He gets taken down by Calculated. Tamzu attacking the hits for Kurosu. They managed to get out of the base.
Is AEX overstaying their welcome though? Iconic is about to go online in 5 minutes once again. Kurosu gets slowed down, taking quite a bit there. Looks like we'll make it out safe and sound.
But in the end, Awaken will be pressuring the top lane. So let's see. 2 inhibitor turrets down, but the inhibitors are still intact. Note that Naga Esports, they have the severe. They can try and stall the game, but how long can they do this?
Exactly, and AEX just totally online in this match right now.
And for Calculated, he's actually dealing a lot of damage on the Zillion. And let's have a breakdown on the solo kill.
Indeed. So, because of how ahead Cannon
the
is here,
Blade of the
look at
Ruined
how
King.
fast he shreds through Iconic. It's absolutely insane. And it's a combination of Cannon not only being able to build up on items, and it's, of course, Iconic at the same time. Looking at itemization right here, Righteous Glory, and Ninja Tabi hasn't even completed the second item yet. So, that's a little bit of a detriment right now.
So the Blade of the Ruined King, Frozen Mallet, Black Cleaver, 3 items secured by Cannon, having the superior gold, superior CS, and KDA. And looking at Iconic's itemization, still a bit lackluster. Only has the Righteous Glory for those team fights. But what is a Righteous Glory item when it comes to AEX split pushing all the lanes?
Man, as far as
They're not letting Naga Esports group up at all.
exactly, and that's what I've been talking about earlier during the start of this game. The last thing you want when you're AX is to get mauled through by all the elements working for Naga Esports' composition. So overall, this is just pretty good for AEX. Just
Gold lead is, oh wow. Compare it to the kill score, 11 to 7. It's not that far apart, right? But check out the gold lead. Looking at the gold lead, 53,000 compared to 38.
Man, oh man, let's go ahead and see. I feel like these next few minutes will be extremely crucial for Naga Esports. Can they hold their ground? Because the tricky part here is that we've been highlighting top a lot. Another thing is that Genvi, he's reached his optimal spike a lot more faster, but this could be the last fight
Righteous
here.
Glory has been used. They're all on to Genvi. They know who to target. They know who to delete. First from the fight. Look at all the bombs on to Genvi. Genvi is gone. This is now Esports fighting back. Awaken on the side here. Kurosu without an ADC. He dies with his partner. Luxuria now gets popped by Awaken. Now Awaken switches to Iconic. And it's going to be the Permafrost going through the Maokai. Low on health. That's going to be a double kill for Awaken. Looks like Cannon will be chasing him down. Ooh, close call for Calculated. Awaken wanted to get that snipe. Only Neep remains. While Rebenga is in critical health.
Man, and AEX, are they going to finish this game? Still a little bit of heavy of a death timer here for both Iconic and Luxuria. Looks like that's going to be next.
Meganar, no one will connect to that stun. That's going to be the first Nexus turret down. And now all of Naga Esports focusing on to Cannon, but that will buy time for Awaken to focus onto the Nexus turret. The Nexus is exposed. This is the final minutes of NE. Can they fend it off here? Cannon focusing onto the turrets. They are on the hunt. They successfully take down Awaken. A shot down for Calculated. Cannon trying to back away. He does have the cleaver, but that's going to be a kill onto Rebecca. Cannon is surviving. Gets the slow from the Q. He will make it out alive while taking down Rebenga.
But still, at the end of the day, tingnan nyo kung ganong kalaki yung value na nakuha ng AEX in the midst of all that sieging. Not a single structure remains on the base of Naga Esports.
Is ticking for NE. The Nexus is exposed, and they're just gonna ignore the members of NE. What? AEX, Acclaim Empire X will be taking away match 2 with a sweep.
Absolutely amazing. You do not, under any circumstances, want to discount our peeps from Iloilo right there. That was beautiful. Kudos to Naga Esports as well, but AEX, again, proving why they were once, during 2016, champions of the PGS.
Congratulations to AEX, and what a display that was, especially by Cannon, because when I saw the first week of AEX, I thought Cannon was not performing that well. He's consistent. But now, after this game, he has been pushing the lanes. He's performing like how a top laner should. And for the overall performance, Awaken, stepping out with that Corki. Impressive.
Yes, absolutely amazing. And of course, at the end of the day, massive comeback by AEX. You've been mentioning earlier, andun nga talagang doubt nung week 1. Week 2, overall, as you can see right here, player of the game, AEX Cannon. Very well deserved. I like that coming in from that slump in week 1, just rises above going into week 2. And that's what you want to have. That's a quality that you want to have as a pro player. Do not let any of your shortcomings or defeats deter you. Just let it motivate you to come back stronger.
Shout out to the people in Iloilo where AEX is from. Congratulations to AEX. We're kind of, I'm actually a bit sad because AEX is not with us right now, so we won't be having an interview to hear what they feel about this victory. How do they feel, and the messages to their fans. But we want to give this time to shout out to them. Congratulations. We hope that you do succeed. But for Naga Esports, still great performance in week 1. Do not let this stop you. Note that our format has changed. Top 6 will make it to the playoffs. It's not yet over for Naga Esports, but for AEX stepping up their game. This has been our, I would say, the final day of our week 2 in the 2018 Bacchus Pro Gaming Series Spring Split. We have been the Shoutcasters. My name is Vulcan. With me was Arctic. Thank you so much for supporting your favorite teams, and see you next week for week 3 of the PGS. On the hunt, great two-man markup, but gets denied by the Fisher, but Rebenga will execute Janby. Iconic is there from the top lane. It's going to be a double kill for Rebenga.
There you go, that's why.
That's why. Cannon has teleport. Let's see. Vision is granted by Naga Esports. Will they get on the hunt? Baron, who will he get to? Will this be a steal? No. AEX baits in Naga Esports. Double kill for Genvi. Now Luxuria and Iconic left alone. That's going to be a Wiki, ignoring the Maokai, going straight for the high priority targets. Awaken gets killed. Iconic is the only one remaining. Now 3 members down for the count. Calculated has the ultimate. Comes to very low. The bomb will shred down, forcing him to back up. Buying more time. Looks like the Rose picks up the bomb. He's close to death, but they will be weaving in and out of that fight. Okay, steal won't happen. It's not anymore. 50-50 Barrett. It's going to go to AEX without a hit. Rebenga a bit too early entering the Baron pit. What a shame. It has been used. They're all on to Janvi. They know who to target. They know who to delete. First one to fight. Look at all the bombs onto Janvi. Janvi is gone. This is now Esports fighting back. Awaken at the side here. Kurosu without an ADC. He dies with his partner. Luxuria now gets tossed by Awaken. Now Awaken switches to Iconic. It's going to be the permanent frost going through the Maokai. Low on health. That's going to be a double kill for Awaken. Looks like Cannon will be chasing him down. Close call for Calculated. Awaken wanted to get that snipe. Only weak remains. But while Rebenga is in critical health. No one will connect through that spawn. That's going to be the first Nexus turret down. And now all of Naga Esports focusing on to Cannon, but that will buy time for Awaken to focus onto the Nexus turret. The Nexus is exposed. This is the final minutes of NE. Can they fend it off here? Cannon focusing onto the turrets. They are on the hunt. They successfully take down Awaken. A shot down for Calculated. Cannon trying to back away. He does have the cleaver, but that's going to be a kill onto Rebecca. Cannon is surviving, gets the slow from the Q. He will make it out alive while taking down Rebenga.
But still, at the end of the day, tignan nyo kung anong kalaki yung value na nakuha ng AEX in the midst of all that sieging. Not a single structure remains on the base of Naga Esports.
Is ticking for NE. The Nexus is exposed, and they're just gonna ignore the members of NE. What? AEX, Acclaim Empire X will be taking away match 2.